Hi, everybody. I got a new microphone, so hopefully I sound better. Please let me know if I don't. So I'm on here today because something happened a little while ago, and it's not even like it's the first time something like this has happened to me. It's just the first time in a long time that this has happened. Um, where somebody is like being, I don't know, what's the word, condescending, rude, for lack of like better words. So like I go to the Dollar Tree because I wanted to get some shit, and I wanted to buy Phil a new toy. And so I go in, I get what I need, I go to stand in line. There's like a couple people in front of me, and a couple more people come up behind me. And I have never ever been somebody that stands still, whether it's in line somewhere or just anywhere. I don't stand still. I have to be moving. Um, and so I was just doing my usual. I don't even realize I'm doing it. That's how much I do it. Like I was just swaying slightly, like moving my hands. I was staying in the same spot. And like I don't try to attract attention to myself, or be like a spectacle or something. I'm just a normal person waiting for the fucking line to hurry up, and moving around helps me. So the person behind me taps me on the shoulder after like a minute of me just swaying slightly and goes, "You seem energized today." Oh, you fucker. Like, and it was not said in a nice way. It was like condescending. Like, I can tell the difference between somebody who's like saying that like in a non-offensive way, like they don't mean it that way, and then somebody who's just being a fucking bitch. And so this was an older lady. She was older than me, and she's lucky she's older than me because, ooh, I might have tapped into like my old version of me because I wanted, the first thing that came to mind was, don't fucking touch me. Because who does that these days? Who is still tapping strangers on shoulders? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's normal for people, but like for me, it's like, just don't touch other people. It's not your body to touch. Like there's other ways of getting their attention that doesn't involve you having to physically touch them. Um, I don't like it. Like I'm really bothered when people do this to me. And I wonder if like, is that a me thing? Do other people feel this way too? I just don't like being tapped on. Like, don't fucking tap on my shoulder. Um, but anyways, so I just kind of gave her a look like, are you a goddamn moron, you motherfucker? You seem energized today. Fuck you. And you seem what? Like on your way to like, no, I'm not going to say that. That's rude. Oh my God. I really have a lot of anger stuff to still work on apparently. Like I don't know, like I get, if you've listened to to past episodes I've done, it's like these fucking storescapades involve dumbass people who can't just go to a store and like do things that you're supposed to do at a store, which is like shop and like go and pay for your stuff and like talk as little as possible and go home, whatever. Like, why do they feel the need to like talk to other people? Like, yeah, sure, I get it. There's people that live on their own and like that's their version of like socializing. It makes them feel less lonely. I get that. But don't touch people and don't be condescending to them. Like, what's the point of seeing you seem energized today, bitch? What were you trying to communicate to me? That like I looked weird? Because that's exactly how that sounded. Um, and like stuff like this used to send me into like an instant rage. Um, okay, so the heater's about to kick on. So like hopefully maybe you won't hear it in the background with this microphone. Okay, anyways, um sorry, this just really fucking bothered me. Like it's just rude. There's no reason to be rude. And I can tell I'm very good at like reading people, tones, like I'm an expert at it. So I should get paid for it, but I'm not, whatever. But so I know that she was not being nice. And this might just be like in my head, but like it's in my head because it's from past experience. I've got several piercings on my face. I have multiple tattoos. Like I don't know if people still aren't used to like people looking like that or something. When I was younger, I looked the same, just younger. And people would treat me differently because I looked like not like they expected. I don't even know if that makes sense. Basically, like even 10, 15 years ago, I would get dirty looks just minding my own business out in public. And I don't know these people, or I didn't know them. I assumed that the dirty looks were because they didn't like the way I looked, because apparently piercings and tattoos, are weird on women or something. Like, because I don't see people looking, I never saw them looking at dudes the same way they would look at me. And trust me, like when I was going to these stores, I studied people and I would notice that they interacted with like men much better than like with me. And the men that had like tattoos and piercings too. I'm not saying anything bad about men. That was my experience. And people seem to feel the need to treat me like garbage and to say stupid shit to me when I've just minding my business looking for the things I need to get to purchase. So I think like when she said that today, like I flew like into like a mini rage in my head, but like I had enough wherewithal to just not act on it. Like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. That's why I'm on here today sounding like this, because it needs to be released into the world somehow and not directed at that fucking lady. So so what did I do? It was almost as if I was outside of my body. Not quite dissociating, but maybe that's what it sounds like. I just stared at her and I just made this weird, like probably creepy looking facial expression that was the combination of fuck you and wow, look at me go. I'm not even like reacting to this person's mean ass fucking bullshit. Like it was like the Joker mixed with I don't know, whatever anxious character there is out there. I just know that my face looked fucking distorted and weird because it is not an expression like I have any memory ever making before. I just knew I fucking looked weird because her eyes were like slowly growing wider. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. But I actually I turned back around and I went back to what I was doing. I just swayed and I did not look at that lady anymore. She did not talk to me. It was as if this never happened. Um so the best I could do in the moment, as far as not acting on my anger and being an asshole right back, was to just give her this weird fucking look. And it's like I saw myself. I saw what my face looked like, but I wasn't looking at myself. Does that sound weird? I fucking knew what I looked like. And normally I would be super embarrassed. And this time I'm just a little bit embarrassed, but mostly proud of myself if like that's the worst I got in response to rudeness. I have come a long way. Thank goodness for podcasts. Thank goodness. Like I have an outlet. Like, oh my God, fuck people like that. Like what was the point of that? And I'm also like going on and on about this because I know I can't be the only autistic person that is trying to really break down some like 30-second interaction like an hour after it happened. And I don't know, like you guys, I can't be the only one, right? So anyways, and then I caught myself like thinking about normal, like I remember like thinking, "Oh, sorry, I don't look fucking normal, lady." And then I started thinking more about like what normal is. And I know most of you've probably heard the saying like there's no such thing as normal. Like, okay, cool. I've decided that normal is like a cult that people keep trying to recruit for. That's what normal feels like to me. It's like it's this cult. It's the name of a cult and we haven't even known it, that we've been trying to be recruited for like years. And it's been successful because they've brainwashed us into thinking that we needed to be this like normal. And like then I was thinking, this also continued as I paid for my stuff, went to my car, came home. I was still thinking about this, about normal being a cult. Because initiation rituals are fucking confusing. Like if you don't instinctively know how to fake laugh at their bad jokes or like have shit talk about the weather outside, then it's like you're out of the club. Um, or like maybe the normal cult pretends to be inclusive. Like maybe they say shit like, "We love neurodiversity." Um, as long as you don't act too autistic in public spaces. That's kind of how I feel that they feel. Um, and then like this cult's entire philosophy, I think, is like contradictory. Like, when they're like, I can just picture them chanting, "Just be yourself, just be yourself, just be yourself," like in this stadium. Um, and like I'm up on stage and they're chanting this right before demanding that I suppress every natural instinct. Does that even make sense? I don't know. I think this sounds weird, but I'm just saying it out loud anyways. And also this cult has like a weird obsession with blandness. Like if you're not drinking plain coffee and wearing beige, they think you're being rebellious or unhinged, and it's like let's all look like lemmings, let's all be the same. If you're not a lemming, there's something wrong with you, because cults make you feel like there's something wrong with you. And there's also this thing I realized that they must worship, which is called uh, the god of eye contact. Yep, that's what that's called. If you don't stare directly into someone's soul during a conversation, well, clearly you must be untrustworthy. So I don't like this god of eye contact. I think that god can just fuck right off. And also, I think this cult of normal thrives on gaslighting. They say there's no such thing as normal, just like I mentioned before, but then they will fucking judge you for everything you do that's not normal. What kind of fucking riddle is this? I have not been able to solve this. Like, you say there's no such thing as normal, but then I'm just being my normal self because that's normal to me. And that's not acceptable to you. So I've never understood. I've never even liked the word normal. Like, I don't even like it, but I probably use it a lot. And like, I think like regular people are the recruitment officers for this fucking cult. They're like, have you tried just not being different? As if it's like, I don't know, like some fucking yoga pose I didn't learn or something. Like, have you just tried not being different? Like, why would somebody strive for that? Like, I get it, when we were masking and we were camouflaging, we strove to just like, not be different. But like at the end of the day, that is not the way to be, because look at what it's done to us. Um, I also feel like their currency for like social rules is knowing when to nod and smile and say, "I know, right?" Like that's their form of like um legal tender, is that the right word to use? Legal tender. I heard that somewhere. I think it might apply here. I don't know. And then also the cult of normal likes to make us think that sensory overload is a sin. Like if anybody sees you covering your ears during a fire alarm, or like if you squint your eyes at those bright ass fluorescent lights, apparently that's blasphemy. and then like trying to leave the cult is almost impossible, but it can be done. Like even when you're trying to live authentically, they'll keep reminding you that like you're too much or not enough. Like fucking psychological spam. Like that's what I think that normal is. It's a fucking cult. Cult. I have no idea like if anybody's going to benefit from this, but maybe. I'm so sorry. Like these episodes, I don't know. I feel like they could be helpful and I feel like I apologize for all of them. But like I don't know, I felt the need to get on here. Like it can't just be me, right? Like, does anybody else like fly into like a bit of a rage when like someone just simply taps them on the shoulder? Um, that's my first question. And like also like how do you respond when somebody is like blatantly rude to you? Like I used to respond in a not nice way back in the day. I would just say whatever came to mind and it was rude and it was worse than what they said and I'm not proud that I did that and I definitely don't want to do that again. Um but like does anybody else do something different? Like the only thing I can think to do these days is just ignore them, just not open my mouth and say stuff if I can help it because like in situations like that every fucking time I opened my mouth it just would make things worse and so I see there's no point in doing that. I also feel like there's no point in like telling somebody like hey that's fucking rude because they know it's rude. On some level they know that they're not being nice when they ask stupid fucking questions like that. You know, does that make sense? Like I feel like rude people are not as ignorant as people like to think that they are. They know what they're doing. Um, so anyways, I was just proud of myself that like I would rather just give a fucked up look, and have them think whatever they want about my face. That's to me that's a win because I didn't say anything back. I didn't acknowledge. I just no. I just turned around. And I'm not even going to say that that was like a super easy thing to do because it wasn't. Because like every instinct was like say something to that fucking bitch. Say something like make her feel worse than how she made you feel just now because I used to operate that way. And that stuff did give me like a high, and I'm embarrassed to say that. I used to get off on that shit. Making other people like feel way worse than how they just made me feel. I would pride myself on it. And thank goodness for therapy and for getting older and realizing that that is no way to continue living because I was just miserable. I can't change people, but I can change how I respond to them. And I think I did pretty good today. So that's a win. If anybody else did something similar to this, it's a win for you too. But really, I would like to hear anything. Also, do you think normal is a cult? I do. If you do too, let me know. I don't know why you would, but I like to hear from people. Okay. Um, wow, I feel so much better. Woof. Now I can go back to what I was doing. Okay, thank you for listening. Goodbye.